All right guys, Andrew Hyde here at Advanced Outdoors, and we're back with a new product launch from Hi-Point. So this one is, there's been a lot of hype behind it. So what we have is the YC9 Yeet Cannon.
My man said yeet, yeet!
So after the original Yeet Cannon came out from the Gen 1 pistol, they've been redesigning the C9 actually for a few years now, and we got our hands on the new Gen 2 variant. Fortunate enough for it to actually be a Yeet and threaded barrel. So let's go over some of the key features of the gun front to back. So with the Gen 2, it's basically a new platform top to bottom, front to back. So you have a new redesigned slide, front and rear cocking serrations. Still uses a Glock front sight, and then it does come with an adjustable rear. They're painted red rear, yellow front. It comes with a 3.93 inch threaded half 28 fixed barrel. It is a blowback gun. They changed the trigger shoe configuration. They changed the grip configuration. It does have a grip safety, and it does have a little, well, rubber insert in the back of the frame, kind of like a recoil absorption. What I've noticed is just in handling the gun is outside of the recoil absorption, it really just kind of helps plant the gun in your hand, keeps it from moving around a little bit, so you actually have a pretty good purchase on it. The gun feels pretty good. They did a bunch of upgrades to it. It feels better, the grips are more comfortable, trigger's a little easier to reach. Still that same powder coated finish, still polymer frame, still the lifetime Hi-Point warranty, but at the end of the day, it's a Yeet Cannon, so how can you not like it? This gun is actually optic ready, so what we were sent here in a package is a few options that you're going to be able to order outside of the gun itself. So when you remove the rear sight, which we're going to do here shortly, you have the option of putting basically a pick rail. So this is designed, machined to replace the rear sight in the slide. So if you have an optic that has a weaver base and you don't want to worry about trying to buy the specific mount for it or run the optic that was specifically made for that mount and you've got a red dot laying around, you can buy this mount, bolt it to the slide, hardware comes in the bag, and you can mount your pre-existing red dot to it as long as you have that weaver base attachment. What we are going to put on this gun today is a CNC machined adapter and a Crimson Trace micro red dot. On top of doing all of that from the install, we are actually going to put a Silencer Co. 9mm can on it. We're going to take this thing in the range and we're going to shoot it. The new design pistol has a 10 round mag over the 8 round mag, so we're gonna do a little comparison between factory 115 grain ammo, some 147 grain subsonic ammo, both suppressed and unsuppressed, so you guys can get both the sound comparison to both rounds through the can and without the can, and also that the gun is going to reliably run both bullet weights with and without the suppressor. So there's going to be a few little segments here of the video, so make sure you stay tuned through all of it, all the way through the range time. Now that we have the key features broken down on the gun, we're going to go ahead and rip the rear sight, factory rear sight out of the slide, and we're going to go ahead and mount the red dot. So in order to do that, basically all you need is the gun does come, I did forget about this one. The gun also comes with its ghost ring front sight, which is something that all of their guns come with. All right, so we're gonna remove the rear sight adjustment screw. So it does have an adjustable elevation. So I'm just gonna use my thumb and trap that rear sight because there's a spring underneath of it. So take a flathead and we're going to remove that screw, and then you can see the little spring tension there. We're going to set that screw off to the side. Take an Allen wrench, and we're going to remove the front bolt. This is not going to fly off or fling anywhere. It's just under some spring tension. And then there's your spring. So there are the 2 bolts, spring and the rear sight assembly. All right, so we moved the rear sight. Now we're going to install the optic plate. So it is machined pretty tight tolerances. So what we have found is as you're starting to get it in the slide, you have to kind of get it down fairly far. And then the tang in the front will actually walk itself right into place. And then this is gonna be a flush fit. So we're gonna use the supplied hardware that came with the optic mount itself. And it just threads into the pre-existing cavities that are already in the slide. Okay. The front one in here. Let's make sure we're tight here. All right, so I've already pre-installed the battery, so we're gonna go ahead and just set the optic on the plate. Then we're gonna use the supplied, wrong wrench, supplied bolts that came with the actual plate itself for mounting this. We're just going to snug this up at first, get the other one, get it started. All right, so now we have got this optic installed here. We're going to make sure we got everything tight. And of course, we have to pre-fit or pre-check the suppressor. So we're gonna pull off again, half 28 threaded barrel, pull off the thread protector, and screw on our Silencer Co. 9mm suppressor. There we go. Now that's a Yeet Cannon in my opinion. All right, we're gonna get into the range. We're gonna get this thing zeroed. We're gonna do a little testing. We're gonna do some shooting. So stay tuned for some range time. We'll be in there in no time. All right, so we just did a little product review of the new YC9 Yeet Cannon. We're in the range here at the Obetz location. We've got a gun, we've got a target, 2 rounds, or 2 mags and 20 rounds of ammo. What else are we gonna do? Let's shoot this thing. Let's pull it in and take a look at it. I would say that's kind of a success for first time shooting it. That was pretty fun. All right, so now to the real fun part is, so we've got a suppressor and we've got some subsonic ammo. Let's do a little comparison between the two. So hang tight, we'll be right back with you. All right, so we've got our new Gen 2 YC9 Yeet Cannon here at the Obetz location. We've got our Silencer Co. Omega 9K on it. We've got 2 different mags, 2 different bullet weights. So we're gonna shoot 6 rounds of 115 grain, traditional, off-the-shelf, 9mm ammo. This is just a noise comparison to give you an idea of what a suppressor does. All right, so that was 115 grain ammo. Now we're gonna shoot some actual Hornady 147 grain subsonic ammo. Much quieter, quite a bit softer, tons more fun to shoot. So it runs reliably, locked open on an empty magazine with 2 different bullet weights to showcase that the gun will run both suppressed and unsuppressed. Now stay tuned for the other sound comparison. We're gonna run the same test but without the can so you can get a back-to-back comparison of what the suppressor does on the YC9. All right, so we're back here, the range of the Obetz location again, and we're gonna do the same test that we just did for you but now unsuppressed. So it's gonna be the first 6 rounds, 115 grain, traditional ball ammo, and then we're gonna do the subsonic ammo back-to-back. So here we go, 115 grain bullets. So quite a bit louder, little snappy. Let's see what these 147s do. Definitely softer, not as much recoil, and not nearly as loud. So even though the 147s are a little quieter, as you can see the difference between the suppressed and unsuppressed, suppressed is a lot more enjoyable to shoot. So what we have is a full breakdown of the new YC9 Yeet Cannon from Hi-Point. Mounted the optic, did some shooting with it. Fun gun. This gun is going to be available for rent at the Obetz location. It's going to be on our range. Stop in, rent it. Let us know what you think. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Comment below. Let us know what you think of the new release of the video we did. Make sure you stay tuned for future videos. And thanks for shopping Advanced Outdoors.